Welcome everyone, it's good to see you. So today's topic is, the right kind of relaxation. Okay. So obviously when you meditate you learn how to relax, how to become soft, open, accepting of yourself, accepting of whatever goes on inside of your mind, whether it might be thoughts or emotions, etc. You even become accepting of distractions. You might get distracted. In fact, we all do get distracted. And you try to focus on the breath, or you try to focus on visualization or whatever it is, and the mind gets somewhere else, wanders off, you need to bring it back, and so forth. And usually we say that it's important to learn and to relax back into the object. So relax into the breath or relax into the visualization. You want to do it in a very relaxed way. Okay? That doesn't mean it should lead to dullness or tiredness, sleepiness, to a foggy kind of mind where you're just kind of following everything that comes along, you just go with it. Okay? That's the wrong type of relaxation. If it leads to dullness, if it leads to a lot of thoughts, that is a sure sign that you're relaxing the wrong way, quote unquote, in terms of meditative development. You really want to develop the skill of clarity and concentration, go deeper into meditation practice, eventually unify the mind with this object. Then it's very important to relax, but to be very determined in the type of your relaxation. So yes, you want to relax into the object. For example, here in our technique it is the breath. We're relaxing into the breath. After having relaxed into the present moment, then into silence, into the absence of words, then eventually into the breath. And many people misunderstand that slightly. So they kind of try to relax into the breath, but their mind is wavering. So there is a lack of determination and consistency and strength. That should go hand in hand with relaxation. Relaxation doesn't mean that your mind becomes kind of like flabby, weak. Relaxation doesn't imply weakness in the practice. It implies a certain type of softness that you bring in, but it is very determined. You know exactly what you want. And because you know exactly what you want, you then can relax into what you want. Relaxing doesn't mean to kind of like give up. I give up what I want. I have no desires. I cling to nothing. You want to be clinging. You need to cling to the breath. This is important in meditation practice. Later on, when you cling to the breath properly, when you actually attach the mind to the breath really well, then there is a result. The mind and the body become very joyful, very comfortable, blissful even. When that happens, then attach to that bliss. It is a blameless happiness, as the Buddha calls it. It is a happiness to be enjoyed. It is not like sensual pleasure which agitates the mind further. It is something that leads the mind into a very deeply wholesome and healing and powerful state. It empowers the mind. It doesn't suck the power out of it. Sense pleasures suck the power out of the mind. That's the problem with sense pleasures. Sense pleasures are okay if you have nothing else. Yes, we say we exchange one level of happiness for a higher one. You only let go ever of one type of happiness if you have something better. You don't let go prematurely. Many people are afraid, it's like, if I practice meditation, I let go and I'm detached, I'm not attached to anything, then what about happiness? I understand that I can let go of anger because it's just super unpleasant. And I can let go of sadness and grief. But what about happiness and love and joy? Should I let go of that too? One of the most popular questions. I think I get it every week. That's fine to attach to happiness. You want to make sure that this happiness is leading, however, to higher happiness. Then it's a very clever way to attach to happiness. Let's compare happiness with money. If some money comes your way and flows into your account because you're doing good work and you're immediately spending it, it's not very clever. You want to save a portion of your money and maybe even invest it so you can make more money, right? The same applies to happiness. So if some happiness comes your way because you have been practicing for it, specifically, then it's important to invest it into further happiness, to, in other words, allow it to deepen, to become more powerful and more embracing. And why not, right? We all want that, after all. We all want to feel good. We all want to be at ease. Nobody in this room who ever came would opt for suffering if I gave you a choice. How would you like to spend the rest of your week? In pain? Totally miserable and grumpy? Or would you rather be happy? At ease in the body and at ease in the mind? Which is your choice? Anybody would choose happiness. Nobody would opt for pain. Yeah, I want to experience pain and headaches and, like a really bad illness until the end of the week. Nobody would opt for that. Or I would like that everybody around me until Sunday just continuously harasses me and disturbs me. I'd like my neighbors to be super noisy so that I can't sleep at night. That's what I would like. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants pain. Nobody wants suffering. And this is, by the way, the reason, I said all the time, why you move your body right now. You move it every few seconds, right? Why? You don't want to be uncomfortable. It's in every little movement, even in the mind. We don't want to be uncomfortable. That's great. We should worship that. It is a desire for happiness. That's a good desire. Many people, they jump to the end of the Buddha's teaching. They say, yeah, but you should have no desires. Start with having clever desires and abandon those who lead to pain. That's at least already a good start, isn't it? Before we go into totally abandon desires. Yeah? It's like a kindergarten guy saying, yeah, but how will I ever understand this university subject? Yeah, you do it by proceeding through kindergarten into first grade, etc., until you're ready to comprehend the university subject. You're not going to the university subject, even with your thoughts, it's no point, when you haven't even learned ABC. Right? So we start with ABC. Same in meditation, in spiritual practice. We bring our attention to the ABC. What is the ABC? Learning how to think in a way that cultivates a bit more happiness and kindness. Learning to abandon thoughts which are harmful to yourself and others. That's already a challenge. Learning to speak in ways that are uplifting to yourself, whether it is inside of your head or outside of your mouth. Can you speak in ways that are helpful, that soothe people's hearts? There's enough pain in the world, isn't there? We would need some more speech which is healing, rather than having more speech which is angry, hateful, frustrated. There's enough of it. So we can make a choice, a very wise choice. Well, at least me contribute with something that's a bit more uplifting. So let me use my speech well. Actions, the same thing. Can I act in ways that help me to grow more healthy, more relaxed, more happy? I sure can. Is it easy? Not always. Because my tendencies, my habits, are very often harmful. I like to do things that are easy, that are comfortable. I like to stay in my comfort zone, even though it's not necessarily very good. The sofa is a nice place to be, but if you stay long enough, you get weaker and weaker and weaker. The people who live on their sofas, you get very weak after a while. That's why we need a remote control then. The standing up is even getting too difficult, so it's more convenient to just go turn it on, turn it off, whatever it is. So comfort is not necessarily a good thing. It usually makes us weak, right? So that's why there is suffering in our life, to challenge us a little bit. And particularly, I think the role that suffering plays is it challenges us into creative ways and clever, wise ways to find better ways of happiness, to find better types of happiness. And so as every good happiness, it arises as a result of the absence of suffering. So the happiness of good food makes only sense if there was hunger before that, right? The greater the hunger, the more delicious the food. At some point, you don't even care what it is that you eat, because the hunger, the suffering is so great that you're happy with anything, right? So if the suffering is big, the relief is big. That's what we usually call happiness. If you've been spending a lot of time alone, you want a new partner, you're looking for a new relationship, then the new relationship is a new thing. It's amazing. It feels so good. Then you're in the relationship for a few years, maybe months, maybe years, and it's getting boring, problems come up, We all carry our problems with each other, and we share them with one another, and it's like, just want to get out of this. Then you get out of it, relief. Happy. Now I'm happy again. So things constantly change. Our happiness constantly changes. It's the absence of suffering. Now let's use that principle in meditation practice. At first, you relax the body, which creates the absence of suffering of tension. Nice. That feels good. When you're not tense, the body starts to relax and heal. Energy flows better, etc. Then two, you let go of future and past thoughts. That's even nicer. Now you let go of the happiness of the relaxed body, you go a step higher by letting go of even more baggage, which is future and past. Oh, it feels so good. You're just here in the room for 30 minutes. You have no problems. It's wonderfully refreshing for the mind. There's just me in the room, just sitting here. So for 30 minutes, having no problem, for those 30 minutes, you're literally not losing energy. You're not leaking energy. But the energy that you generate through breathing, through stillness, through digestion, etc., stays with you. It's not just going out into anxiety and worry and thinking and all that. That costs you energy. And if that energy goes into all these activities in the mind, you have no available energy, therefore we feel down. We're not feeling happy. Look at how children, how they are full of energy. They can really enjoy themselves like crazy. They can jump around and laugh loud. And then you look at adults, it's like, there's nothing much going on. You see, they're not really joyful anymore. The light is gone out of their eyes very often. And in children's eyes, you can still see that. There's a whole lot of light there. There's energy there. There's power there. Not tired. Exhausted. We're exhausting ourselves with all that thinking and emotioning all the time. So if you can stay 30 minutes awake, completely present, you recharge your batteries. And you will notice that your health increases and your happiness increases. Happiness in the mind, health in the body. Then you let go even more. You let go of that for the sake of going to the next level. You let go of the inner voice, the talker. And then you sit there in the room 30 minutes, not a word in your head. What would happen to you If you were in a room for 30 minutes and there was no words in your head, can you imagine that? What would happen then? Would you disappear? Would your whole life all of a sudden collapse? Would you lose your job and everyone would suddenly hate you because you're too quiet? I'm talking about 30 minutes in your room without thinking. Can you work towards that? Sure can. Is it worthwhile? Absolutely. Why? Because it feels so good. You wouldn't even believe it, how good it feels. How much energy you get. What an influx of energy if you're not leaking it and not constantly losing it. It stays within you. The mind becomes calm. We're still in the beginning. Now you let go of that. Remember, you're letting go of one type of happiness here. I let go of it. Why? I go up a bit more. What's next? Well, I let go of the movement of attention in the mind. Have you noticed that your attention constantly wanders? Even if the mind might be still. For those with more experience already, you know how it is like, beyond thought. Do you notice that your attention constantly moves away from the breath, back to the breath? Hearing the baby cry, coming back, feeling your knees itch, coming back to the breath. Constant buzzing of attention, that costs you energy again. Now we still the mind, so the vibration in the mind stops. You're just with the breath. There's a single vibration in the mind, just breathing in, breathing out. Nothing else there. It slowly starts to become really blissful. Because literally, you're going out of problems more and more. And you come more and more into your centeredness, into your power. That's a very good thing. And then you let go of that. Because you start to feel really joyful, you let go of the breath. And you're just joyful. It is disembodied joy. Disembodied bliss. You're not even feeling your body anymore. How wonderful to let go of your body, because you know how much pain the body causes. And you only know how nice it is when this happens. Before that, it doesn't make any sense to think, oh, I need to let go of my body. How is that supposed to be nice? You know, I love my body. You only know when you come to that point how sweet it is to be there, fully awake and aware, yet there is no body. No arms, no itching, no knee pain, no back pain, just bliss. Yes, and so it goes deeper and deeper. Meditation develops that way. You let go of one type of happiness for the sake of a higher one, a better one. We are literally training for happiness, directly, here and now. This is this training, isn't it? So people have the idea that, oh, I need to let go. Who will I be if I have no thoughts? Me going into 7-Eleven without thoughts, will I ever know what I need to buy? I'll be totally confused standing in front of the chocolate, being like an empty piece of paper. What is this? Where am I? Who am I? Like that. Yes, exactly. How can I walk? How can I talk with people? Someone suddenly talking with you and they say, hey, good morning, how are you doing? And you're totally out of your comfort zone. Oh my God, I don't know how to think. I don't know how to respond to that. That would be thinking, by the way, anyways. But this is how people imagine this. How could I live without a voice in my head? I wouldn't be able to live. Oh yes, you would be very able to live. You didn't have a voice in your head for the past 5 seconds. You didn't notice. That's the difference. As you're listening to me, there is no voice in your head. You're not thinking up things right now. You're just listening. And you're still here. And it happens, by the way, many, many times. You see a beautiful flower, the voice stops. You're walking through the forest and take a deep breath. Nice, smells good, smells fresh. There was no thinking going on in that moment. No verbalization, you're just smelling, you're just walking. Sometimes you listen to a strange bird that you just heard or something. You stop thinking, you just listen. The thing is, we just don't notice that we are devoid of thought in that moment. Awakening here means that you are free from thought while knowing it. Many people say, well, babies are close to enlightenment, or babies are enlightened even. That is not true. If a baby would know itself, that would be very close to enlightenment. And that's the difference. A baby knows the world around it. It's all primed to get into the world of senses. It has to learn how to see, how to grab, how to hear. It's busy doing that. But its mind is pretty fresh. It's pretty empty. Like your mind in the morning after a good night's sleep. It's quite calm. It's well rested. Yes, a baby, a newborn baby, is quite calm and well rested. There's no stories going on for, like, oh, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Buddhist or something like this. No, none of that. No complications, no problems there. Not even my own name. The baby is just present there. The only difference is it doesn't know. It's not like, this is what I truly am. I am this presence. And nothing that passes through this presence is who I am. If the baby would know that, well, that would be enlightenment. It's a direct experience. Unfortunately, most of us have to kind of become the adult that is full of accumulations. And we have built so much suffering and stress for ourselves that through that suffering and stress we come to meditation practice and learn how to unwind again, how to become simple again, how to actually connect with life, how to enjoy life again. And life is deeply joyful. It's just we've lost the ability to enjoy it. Because we're constantly thinking about other things that we could do and we might do, and contemplating ourselves, creating ourselves in our heads again and again and again. Or better to say, recreating ourselves. And so true happiness comes when this kind of stuff ends with consciousness, with truly waking up to what is going on right now, right here, and abandoning it, dropping it, finding something that is more enduring than this very fleeting world, where nothing lasts. No feeling, no thought, and no circumstance, people don't last. Everything we fight for, we work for very, very hard. In 50 years it means nothing. And 50 years is a very, very little time compared to billions of years of this universe's age, right? What's 50 years? Let alone billions of years. Think billions of light years of distance and expanse. It's just so massive. What's my little life in there and my huge problems in my little head? And if we can't find a way out of this, at least sometimes, I'm not saying, you should be without problem for the rest of your life. Or how can you be without thought 24/7? 10 minutes is great. If you can do it for 10 minutes, if you can look after yourself with kindness and care for 10 minutes each day already, is a wonderful start. Until you get the taste, the hang of it, you naturally want to go deeper. You get hooked. Okay, so that's how meditation works. It's a development of right relaxation. We let go, that is right relaxation. We let go of coarser levels of tension, gradually ascending like that, naturally. Wrong relaxation, to repeat one more time, leads to dullness, sleepiness, foggy-mindedness, and more thoughts.